What did you do in corporate?
So I started out as a buyer for Zappos here in Las Vegas. And I was basically anything you see on a website, I was the one picking it out, thinking about how much to buy, negotiating pricing, and looking at how to position it for certain customers. So that was my job. And I put in a lot of hours. I was the one who they would tell to go home. And back then, and I got that job when I was making, right out of college, probably like $14 an hour.
Yeah. But that still sounds like a dream job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, $14 an hour at that time was probably not as bad as that sounds right now, because right now it sounds really bad.
Right. Yeah. No, it was getting that on the resume, getting the experience, learning from those people. I almost saw it like an internship.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to work in a great company and learn the ropes from, a well-oiled machine. How
did you leave that job?
So left that job to move up to Seattle when I was 27. No. 20, 23, 24. 23 or 24.
Okay.
And it was because I was not meeting anyone in Vegas. And I still had the side of me that wanted to have a family someday. And I was doing the online dating. And online dating in Vegas, there's a lot of transient people who say they're from here and they're here for the weekend type of thing.
Yeah.
So it was not
your style.
Not my style. Yeah. And so I just realized I'm not gonna find my husband here.
Yeah.
So I got to go find my husband.
So you went to Seattle to find your husband?
Yes.
Okay.
And climb the corporate ladder.
Yeah.
So I went from like $60K a year to about $90K a year with that move. Sold my car, bought a puppy because I thought that would help me meet guys.
Did it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. For sure. Walking around with a dog. Of course, that helps. And then, did that job for about a year. And I met my husband 3 months into that. And so that is kind of where I started thinking about the future differently, realizing he's in the military. We're not going to be here forever. And I might need something that is a little more flexible and can move with me as far as my career.
How fast into meeting your husband did you feel like, okay, this is it?
Maybe 2 months.
2 months?
Yeah. Yeah, 2 months.
So how fast did you guys get engaged?
So this is interesting. I was nervous to move with someone without a ring. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to quit my job and move to another state without that commitment. And so it was about a month and a half after moving, then he proposed. Moving without a job, when your whole identity is wrapped up in your career and your boss saying like, you're my star player, and then all of a sudden you don't have that, my identity crumbled and I felt like such a failure. I was interviewing for all these jobs and I thought, what did I peak at like 24?
Yeah.
And I thought I had.
I wonder how many people feel that, especially someone that's driven and confident in your first job and you feel like, man, I'm kicking ass. When you get hit with the reality that no one actually wants to hire you.
Yeah.
That's really scary. I think a lot of people are feeling that right now.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. And sometimes it's not a work ethic thing. It's a timing thing. It's a time and place thing. Are they hiring at the right time? Is it the right fit? Do they have the budget for you? There's so many other factors at play. It's not always like a personal thing, but we take it personally because that's our identity.
Yeah. You moved from Seattle to San Diego for this guy that you were hoping was going to propose. Eventually he did.
Yep.
You couldn't find a job. What happened?
So it was a lot of depressing days. I was dog walking on Rover. I signed up for rover.com to walk dogs. And
how much did that make?
$20.
$20 an hour walking dogs?
Per time. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, my goal was to cover my living costs.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like I was taking advantage of my fiance.
Yeah.
It wasn't just walking dogs. We were actually taking them into our home. We were boarding. Yeah. I was a boarding small company.
That's awesome.
Dog boarding company.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's your first business.
That was my first business. And you know what? I actually had business cards. It was called Community Canine Care.
Okay.
And we printed these cards and we would tape them. We'd go all around to all the different apartment complexes and tape them to the little dog poop bins.
Yeah.
And we would do that at night. That was our date night. And I was hustling.
Your date night was promoting your dog walking business?
Yes. And I was doing other side hustles too, picking up things at Goodwill, flipping them, putting them on eBay, buying, back when Alibaba was just starting, I would buy jewelry on there, sell that on eBay. Just whatever we could do to make, $50 to $100.
Were you still applying to jobs throughout this process?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Applying. I was about to work in a shipyard with these military guys, buying screws or
Yeah.
whatever they buy.
Yeah.
Like, I was about
Sounds
to
like
take
you
anything.
crushed that interview.
Yeah. Well, they put me in round 2.
Nice.
WD-40.
Okay.
I interviewed with them and I just felt like, wow, this is so sad.
Yeah.
This is not what I want, but I'm desperate.
Yeah.
And I even tried to apply for like Crate and Barrel, to be a cashier, and they wouldn't hire me. They wouldn't even interview me. So yeah, you do start to question yourself a bit.
How long did it take you in your mind to be like, I think I can probably just be my own boss?
So it was actually about 11 months in, and I was still interviewing, and I had my eyes set on this job at Petco headquarters. Thought, okay, this is a well-known company. It's e-commerce management, and ended up going through a few rounds of interviews and finally getting an offer. But by that time, I had done all these different side hustles, and Etsy was one of them. And I was 4 months into Etsy sales, making over 10 grand a month on Etsy. And I found out the same week that I got the job offer that I was pregnant with our first son.
Wow.
And that for me did it. Actually, I think I accepted the job and then slow rolled the start date. And then I think I rescinded it, the acceptance. And it was just realizing I don't want to put a newborn in daycare.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling scarcity, I feel like I would feel 1,000 times more scarcity. Just being like, oh my goodness, I'm having a kid. I have to figure this out. Did you feel that at all? Or was it like, were you feeling like, oh, I feel a little bit confident in what I'm doing. I just want to commit to myself?
I think it was at the point, thank God, like my husband had a great job in the military, very stable. So I didn't feel like that. I almost felt like, hey, Dylan, this could be your out. This could be your purpose. This could replace your drive to have a career. And maybe we go this way. Maybe we just stay at home and don't keep hitting your head against the wall trying to get this job.
Yeah.
It almost felt like I was giving myself this out potentially. And I had a choice like, hey, now I can pull back on this like aggressive job search.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after the 4 months, 4 months, you're hitting $10,000 a month in sales. You're like, okay, this is my thing now. What was next? What came next after that? Like what came, I'm guessing that wasn't enough.
Yeah. So it's funny. My husband Wes came home from work one day and he works with all these smart submarine guys.
Yeah.
He's like, my friend Saul did a little analysis of the business and he thinks we're on track to hit 150,000 if we keep going like this. Like, oh, thanks, Saul. Okay. Maybe we scale. And so my goal became to match the offer for 110,000 from the corporate job. I said, okay, I'm going all or nothing for that. I'm going to beat that.
I just want to be able to make that same amount of money, but from home.
Yeah. And I said, that's okay. Goal 1, let's beat what we made in corporate.
What you're describing, even for yourself, like, I don't know if you recognize this, but like your skill set of hard work is just transferable to anything you wanted to do. Anything.
Yeah. I realized I will not fail because whether it's working for myself or someone else, like I will be the star player. I always wanted to be the most reliable, most consistent person people could count on. So if I'm doing that for my boss, I can do that for myself.
Was it within a year that you hit that 110? Was it within 2 years?
No, within the first year we did 140.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you did 140. Was this just like, okay, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life? Did that feel like, okay, I feel fulfilled? Did you feel like that's where you wanted to stop, or did you want to keep going?
Yeah, definitely. Because at that point, we have a baby. Yeah. We're moving across the country. We know my husband's going to be on a submarine deploying. And I knew I would need the flexibility for sure. And so this was like the answer, clearly. Yeah.
So how many hours a week did you work, or how many hours a day did you work on this business?
So it's kind of, I loved it, and part of me misses it, to be honest. We sold that brand a year ago in October, actually. And it was so simple because you could wake up no matter how you're feeling. You could, literally wear your pajamas, have the baby around, and it was just so nice. And yeah, I worked long days, but it didn't feel like work. It felt like I was just at the house managing the house and the business and just kind of floating around. It was hard work, probably 12-hour days. And then when he was gone, that's when I ramped up to 16-hour days. I'm like, I'm going to blow this up when he's gone.
Why?
Because I knew I always get emotional. I always get emotional. Because I knew, when he was on the submarine, I'm sorry, Grant.
You're good.
because I always knew like he was on the submarine working nights. And so when I put the baby to bed, I thought, all right, I know my husband is starting work right now. Like, I'm going to do the same thing. Yeah. And so I felt like we were more of a team, and there was solidarity in us both doing something really hard. And I'm not the type to sit next to someone who's like working their butt off and me just to watch. So I wanted to match that effort and make him proud because he was making me proud. Yeah.
Were you worried about him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is during COVID. He had no idea what was going on. And on a submarine, I mean, that's like, a death trap if something happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you process that worry? Is that why you worked so hard? Do you feel like you it wasn't just I want to put effort in? Was it kind of like as a way to cope with the fact that he was not there?
It was a way to build something and yes, stay busy, but build something that would be for both of us when he came back. And so I would stay up late watching sermons and listening to Central Christian Church, and every night, like just watching years worth of these church services and making stuff and singing and just thinking about him. And I just felt like it was, it got me through that time. Yeah.
You're solo parenting. That's really hard. It wasn't even like you have support in terms of like, hey, I'm able to call, I'm able to write, I'm able to text or whatever. Like there's no, like I'm away from my wife and kids right now, but I'm going to call them. I'm going to like Erica can text me and she's going to be like, okay, I'm struggling with this, or this kid, we're potty training right now. So Shiloh's like, there's poop. He pooped 5 times in his underwear today. Like she can like release that.
Yeah.
You're by yourself. And not only are you trying to solo parent, but you're trying to build a business. How are you balancing the mom aspect of that?
There was a lot of mom guilt, and my son at the time was 2, I believe 2. Yeah. And so he was getting into everything. And so I just let him get into stuff in a controlled space, and I worked right next to him. And so I was there trying to involve him. Here, play with these fake flowers, and I'm going to package these orders really fast.
Yeah.
And making games out of it and trying to involve him, part of the family business. So he still had attention. It's an attention thing. You feel guilty for splitting attention. But if you can make them part of the thing you're putting attention on, then it really helped.
I just want to know, like, do you feel like did you work 14 hours because you felt like you had to?
I felt like to be a good steward of this business and this opportunity, 1,000,000%. My goal when he left was to make 100,000 that year. And like, that's from 240 to 100. Like I was going to slow down and just survive. But then when COVID happened, everyone got the stimulus checks. We're blowing up. E-commerce is blowing up. Why would I not take advantage? And so, yeah, I would never sit back on an opportunity like that. So I didn't feel like I had to. It was like exhilarating. And it's so funny. We went to counseling last week, and the lady said, you have a very stressful life. How do you deal with that? And I'm like, I kind of thrive in it. She's like, do you have a lot of trauma? It's like, yeah, I do. Actually, Wes stepped in for me, my husband. He's like, yeah, she does. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what makes this person want to work so hard. Tell me about growing up. What was life in the family like?
So 2 entrepreneurial parents. My mom had a dental practice. My dad had a fencing construction company, and they worked very hard, but they balanced family well. And everything was like all American, perfect. We lived on a farm, had horses and Catholic school, the whole thing in the Midwest. And then when I was 7, my dad, I didn't know this, but he got into crack cocaine and hid that addiction from us. And I found out when I was 11. During that whole time, he's struggling with this huge addiction. My mom's bearing this, big secret. And then it all comes to light, like darkness always comes to light here. And found out, he's going to rehab and all this stuff. And then that was like not the worst. I mean, the worst was 2 years later when my older sister, she's just my only sister, she was 15 and I was 13, and she had cardiac arrest in gym class in high school, freshman in high school. And she was turning blue. They didn't give her CPR. They would have put a blanket on her because they thought she was cold. And she wasn't breathing for a long time, went into a coma, and came out with a permanent anoxic brain injury. So ever since I was 13, my dad's gone. That really sent him into a spiral. He went into the crack houses, and she's in a coma, and I'm 13. And I'm in the process actually of skipping 7th grade and managing being 13. And I knew from that point on, like, everything would not be the same.
Did that make you struggle with trusting people?
No. What it did, though, it made me realize that I can't be more of a burden, like especially for my mom, than what she was already going through. So I felt a lot of pressure to be the one people didn't have to worry about.
Yeah. Who's directing you at that point? Like, what's motivating you?
I would say my faith at the time,
Were you Christian then?
Yes. Yeah. So I grew up in the Catholic Church. We started going to more of a non-denominational church, but that really helped. Realizing like God will not give me something that I can't get through with, with his help. And
at 13.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not going to kill me. And this is meant to happen. And like Jeremiah 29:11, like something good will come out of this. There's a plan that I don't see now, but I know there will be that realization at some point. So yeah, that was where I realized like a lot of people in that situation, they would probably just like pause, let things happen, pull back from anything, sports or academics, and they would let those circumstances take them down. But I realized like if I give my dad's addiction or this tragic thing that happened to my sister have more power and ruin my life more than it already has, I can't let that happen. So I really felt like maybe it's a control issue or something, but I felt like, okay, I will not let it take more than it has. And that's when I think my ambition just amplified at that time.
I mean, did you feel like you had to be perfect? Did you have to, because everything else was kind of breaking, do you feel like you were the person that had to be okay?
Yeah, for sure. That no one had to worry about. Yeah.
How did your mom do?
She is a saint. She is so strong. Like she ran my dad's business and her business through that. I don't know how she kept us alive, like financially. My dad, spent so much money on those activities. And she leaned on me. Like I remember holding her when she's crying and I leaned on her. So it was kind of like I grew up really fast and we became each other's support.
I'm not a therapist. It's pretty easy to tie your drive and your ambition to some core things. You're very anti-victimhood. Do you think that that's accessible to everybody else, or are you just different? So funny. In that counseling session I was talking about, she asked my husband and I, what is your biggest strength as a team? And he said, our tolerance for pain. Our tolerance for pain is so high. Like we will go through whatever to get to the goals. So yeah, I think it's served me through everything. Just knowing that, like, despite the circumstances, all like more kept happening. Like addiction is a lifelong thing. Yeah. More kept happening, and despite all those circumstances, like we can keep building. I believe winning is a choice, and the people I coach and I teach, like I say, you have no reason to fail here unless you get in your own way. You have all the resources, all the tools you need, and I have experience walking through really hard life things while still building. And I feel like that is my calling. I think I would feel temptation, if I'm just putting myself in your shoes, I would feel temptation to fix it. I would look at a father that's failing and be like, how can I help fix that? I would look at my sister and think, how can I care and solve that? Do you feel that in yourself, or do you feel a comfortable distance?
I would say when in my teen years, I did a lot of counseling and realizing I had no control over their health. And for my sister, I could not fix her. I could not get her back. Yeah. And then with my dad, of course I can't fix him. I can't control that. So like, what can I control? I can control making sure that everything in our world that we keep building, we keep working towards having the lifestyle and the mobility and financial freedom and location freedom so that we can be there for these people, even though we can't fix them. And so, yeah, I would say there was a time where I wanted to fix things, but I learned really fast, like you can't fix other people. Some circumstances are bigger than you, and they're happening for a reason that you don't know right now. So even, what was it? 2 years ago, my dad overdosed and I'm like building this coaching business, and I find out he had disappeared. I find out he's in the ICU, and we didn't really know why. He didn't really tell us the whole story, but he called from the ICU in February or it was January. And he said, I don't know, something happened and I ended up here. And I was about to hop onto a coaching call when I get a text from my aunt saying he was actually found overdosed in his house. They had to resuscitate him and, get him alive again. And he almost died. And I'm like shaken in tears, but I have to show up. Yeah. I have 5 minutes. I got to show up. And
you didn't cancel the call?
No. People are counting on me. Yeah. I can't let that negative thing have more power than it already had. Yeah.
I would love for you to be someone that can, where it's like okay for you to sit in grief and sit in pain. I've known you for the past 3 years. It's evident that has not stopped. You're that type of person where it's like, no matter what pain you're experiencing, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it's family related, you just go. I think for more people, like that bottling up effect, for myself, that bottling up effect, like it bursts. Mm-hmm. How do you not let it burst? How do you let it, like, how do you keep it in a place where like, this is okay. I'm okay. I can keep going. I'm not going to let this control me.
Yeah. I think my faith has something to do with that because...
Tell me about that. What do you mean by faith?
Yeah. So I really believe that God's plan is way better than my own. So if I'm not understanding why something's happening right now, it's for a positive reason. I just don't see it yet. So like understanding that this is awful, but something good will come out of it, and believing that when it's happening, it allows me to push through and not sit in it too long.
That sounds so optimistic. Mm-hmm. You're living these extremes. In one hand, you have these like extreme successes that are intangible to majority of people. And then you also have these, like I've experienced pain, and it might be severe pain to me, but it's like, that's a different level. I think addiction is a different level. Mm-hmm. I think special needs is a different level. Like go into a place where you're having to be not just like the older sister, but the older adult. Mm-hmm. If someone's sitting right now and they're watching this, and this is the person I hope is watching this, they're experiencing like paralysis. They're feeling like circumstantially, I have a lot of scarcity. Circumstantially, I have a whole assortment of reasons to say no. What would you say to them to encourage them to say yes?
Yeah. I would have them think about their future. You realize when you're at those points, you're like, okay, I have two options here. I can keep going, or I can pause and just pause things. And it's that paralysis. It's like, I'm not going to move forward. I'm just going to like sit in what's happening in my circumstance. And then once things calm down, then I'll start the business. Or once things calm down, then I'll grow this thing. And waiting is only going to make you feel so much worse. Like it'll make you feel so much worse. It'll give that negative circumstance or person or whatever is happening more power than it has already taken. So do you want to pour gasoline on that terrible fire and procrastinate or hold back and really sacrifice your dreams more than maybe you already have for that negative thing? I would feel so much resentment if I did that. I would be angry at myself if I did that. So I think be the person or become the person, step into the person, take the actions that you don't feel like taking. I love what Layla says, except for I don't swear. But I'd like to say, forget your mood, follow the plan. And And if you stand in that and step into that, then you're going to look back at yourself like 6 months, maybe 6 years from now and be so proud of yourself. And you will know, wow, I can get through anything. Look what I got through. And it will give you the confidence. And that's why I think I have this confidence of, hey, whatever happens, like we're going to blow through that.
Yeah.
Because when you do that on repeat, that's your identity. You become that way. That is who you are as a person. So doing it the first time, that's a tough choice to make, right? It's like the opposite of what you feel like doing. But if you do that on repeat, it not only is going to make you proud of yourself, but everyone is watching. So I have 2 little boys, 4 and 8. I know they're going to go through something at some point in their life. And I might not even know what they're going through, when they're adults. But I know that they will look back and remember, like, my mom got through this. She got through it. Like, I can do this too. So I know, like, this is going to strengthen them in times where I might not even realize it's happening. Yeah.
Are you scared of failure?
I don't really believe in failure. I really don't. I don't believe in failure. Because there's always something good that's going to come out of it. It's maybe a lesson learned. Am I scared of learning lessons? No, it's inevitable. If something doesn't work, okay, now I learned something and I'm going to pivot and do something that does work. So no, I think if you're afraid of failure, you're going to like never hit your potential.
What seems to be overarching in this is it sounds like you've done so much, you've experienced so much, you've gotten through so much, and there's so much perseverance. Like there's so much just like it's a champion mentality. Like you should have been an athlete. Like there's nothing that could have stopped you. And the fact that you've made it about business is helpful, but like you have that same grit. I see your husband as someone that came in and just created a foundational pulse for you to be able to do everything that you do. Do you see him as that?
Yeah. Yeah. Because most people would not be supportive of what he is supportive of. He's the one who, if I have an idea, he'll be like, let's do it. I booked the flights. We're doing it. Or I'm going to organize this. I'm going to make it happen. And so he is like, he always says this too. He sees what needs to be done and he's like steps in and he makes the vision like possible. And he never holds me back. He's never said, I don't think we should try this. He's like, he matches my intensity and ambition. And we are like, I think so strong because of that. And we do more together than we would do individually because we just like amplify each other's ideas. And so when he has an idea, like right now he's wanting to buy this apartment building. And, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like they went and toured it. There was, I guess, a pair of underwear, someone's underwear like hanging from the ceiling. Like, I didn't see it, but they toured it. And it's like a job. Let's just say it's a project. But I'm like, I see the potential. I see your vision. Let's do it, And so we both do that in different ways. And yeah, without him, none of this would have happened. I'd probably be in a 9-to-5. So I do think your spouse can really hold you back if they are coming and living in a place of fear.
How do I know if my spouse is holding me back?
Are they genuinely excited about your ideas? Or are they like a party pooper in a cloud over what excites you? When you share what excites you and ideas and dreams that you have, are they amplifying them and saying like, yes, and building off of your dreams, or are they doubting you and planting seeds of doubt in yourself?
What's the transition been like for him to quit the Navy? That's a big deal.
So when this idea came about of him getting out of the military after 15 years, that's a big jump. I mean, you are forgoing a huge retirement potentially, and everything that you'd worked towards for 15 years, your titles and the respect you have in this organization. And at first I felt like, wow, like this is a lot of pressure. Now like failure truly is not an option. But then it also showed like he believed in this and he had no fear like about we're going to be fine. And so it was almost like affirmation.
Yeah.
Like we're going to be great. And I think this also is going to, especially as years go on, open up opportunity for him to build his dreams and do things that he wouldn't otherwise do.
Well, that's a good thing to think through, because I think like most marriages have either a partnership or a cheerleader. So either you're both partners and you're both pursuing something, or you have a cheerleader that's kind of encouraging you. If it's going poorly, the cheerleader feels dragged. And so therefore the person leading doesn't feel supported by the person cheerleading them on. Versus most times in business relationships and people that are more driven, if you have a partnership mentality, it's usually more successful because they're okay with you working late. They're okay with you saying no to a lot of things that people say yes to. They're okay with sacrifice because they see the end goal and the end vision. Do you feel like Wes has been in that cheerleader category, or is he more in that partner category?
Let's see. We might have hit the tipping point.
Okay.
I think he's more balanced than I am.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Which is because you're visionary in a lot of ways, and
he reminds me of priorities.
Yeah.
That's what he does. He reminds me of priorities. And and when you're building, and sometimes if you're a visionary or you have ideas, you get excited about things and you're like, all gas, no brakes. That's been our motto in the company for a couple of years. And, he resets priorities and like, remember, big picture, the kids are 4 and 8, or like we're going to coach basketball, 8-year-old basketball together this year. I'm so excited.
Nice.
Yeah. Another level of coaching. These kids,
they
don't know what they're in for.
Won't be as fun. Definitely not as profitable. But
Failure's not an option. Keep going faster. He resets priorities. So I would say he's been like partner, for sure partner, but also grounding us. And I'm kind of like a little, I don't want to say I'm volatile, but I'm a little bit like my energy is not the same all the time. And he's very much like level, even keeled, and keeps things grounded.
I think people in the world of business, they look at people like Layla and they look at Cody, I think, are probably the two like most prominent female faces of like business leaders. Neither of them have kids. And somehow you're doing this with 2 kids. Like, what did it feel like when you got pregnant for a second time and you're like, I'm still doing this. I still have a second kid is hard. A second kid is a lot. A second boy is a lot. What was that transition like?
It was, I saw it as a gift to the first child. Like, what I went through as a sibling and loss and all of that, and feeling alone with a lot of family stuff going on. I wanted to make sure that our son had someone to count on, So I knew we were going to probably at some point, but I never thought, well, this is going to be the thing that takes me off my career track. Like, I just thought, what's one more? Yeah. Like, we can handle it. I was one of 2. So I think when you have siblings, you also realize, my parents had businesses. They just hired help. What
does it look like for you on a day-to-day basis? Because I think that's another thing that holds a lot of women back in particular, especially like moms. There's some women that are like, they want to work corporate because they don't want to be moms. I actually had a coworker one time, and she was like, it's crazy. She and I had the same role and the same kind of title, same position. So I knew how much roughly she made. Both of us made something around like 110, right? And she told me half of her salary goes to daycare and half of her salary goes to car payments. But she also said I would hate being at home with my kids. Like I would hate just like everyday life. And I think the reason that stuck with me is because I think there's a subset of people that want to avoid motherhood and be active in work. And there's another subset of people that are like, how can I do both? Mm-hmm. What's been your experience?
So my mom waited till she was 38 when she had me. So she was older.
Yeah.
And she also wasn't sure because she was building her dental practice. And so I saw what it looked like to have an older parents. And I didn't love that.
Yeah.
I felt like I was different and it was hard, honestly. So I knew, okay, I want to do it like younger and then keep building. I mean, people start businesses when they're like 40, 50 and become, billionaires. I just saw it as, okay, those early first 5 years, that's going to be like really tough. Formative years, they're not self-sufficient. And I knew that would be hard. But do both. Yeah. It's funny, when we first met, I thought, oh, I'll be a stay-at-home mom until they go to kindergarten.
Yeah.
But then I think once you have a taste of what's possible, when you build something for yourself, you're not going to pause entrepreneurship and go back to it.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's realistic.
What do you say to people that think that moms should put their kids above themselves?
Think about big picture. What do you want? What example do you want to set for them? And what do you want to provide for them? And yeah, I mean, put your kids above yourself as far as their needs and opportunities, but making sure that you are fulfilled too is important. I don't think anyone regrets putting their kids above themselves and stepping back. I don't think people have regret about that. I do think people can regret prioritizing the career over the kids long term. So I think that's something to be aware of. But if you can integrate them into things as much as possible, then I think it can help avoid some of that.
Something you said earlier that I love is I think like how much cooler would it be for your mom to be your hero?
Yeah, right.
Everyone knows what a bad dad is. Everybody knows what a bad mom is. But like there's so few kids that can look at their mom and look at their dad and be like, that's my hero. Like my dad was my best man at my wedding. Yeah. I am the only person that I've ever heard say that. What do you do consciously? Because you're just saying like, yeah, they're going to go through so much and I want to show them that I did this because I want them to have that example. Mm-hmm. How are you like implementing that now? How are you letting them in? Do you feel like there's a boundary for you where it's like, they can't see me in this state. They can't see me busy. They can't see me stressed. They need to see me as the caregiver still. Like,
yeah.
How do you balance those two things?
One thing is that I saw my mom be the example of someone who got through hard things, kept building despite that. So I'm just kind of making that connection right now, actually. But yeah, so seeing that, being the hero, you also want to be the example of and the model of them knowing what's possible for them. And I want them to know they can do whatever they want. Like anything that they want to do, we will put in the reps and we will make that happen for them. So that's that. Even with like Cameron, my older one, his soccer, right? Okay, this team, they're doing these fast throw-ins and that's how they're getting ahead. And we have a tournament tomorrow and okay, we're going to get up, we're going to go to the field, we're going to do these throw-ins. And I'm like pretending to be the ref. So I'm like, maybe I'm crazy, but I want to put in the effort with them so that they can realize they can do whatever they want. And with the business, they definitely see me working. Mm-hmm. They've come into some of my coaching calls. I've had to like wipe a butt in the middle of a meeting. Like we've been there.
Yeah.
But they know mommy's helping people. This person paid mommy to teach them how to build a business. I have to answer their question and help them. Mm-hmm. And see, they want to be a mom that doesn't have to go to work. So I'm helping them do that. So then they think about, like someone else's mommy doesn't want to have that 9-to-5 job and my mom's helping them do that. Mm-hmm. So I try to get it broken down to their level. Yeah.
What does quality time look like?
Giving in to whatever they're demanding.
That's real. That's real though.
Oh yeah. Like you want a Slurpee, you want some Halloween candy, whatever. Yeah. Like 5 pieces.
Yeah.
Give me one.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's what do you want to do this weekend? And I want to go to the playground. Okay, sure. Let's do it. And it's letting them make some decisions because during the week, when I'm working, they're not making a lot of decisions. So giving them some decision-making power, like I love being able to do that.
I'm in this season right now. I feel I don't want to talk about this as if I'm really great at it because I don't feel like I am.
Yeah.
But I really do want to enjoy each kid where they're at. But I still feel insane amounts of guilt because just like the amount of times I can vividly remember my daughter saying like, "Dad, can you just play with me?" And sometimes I'm home. Like when you're at corporate jobs and you go to corporate places, they don't ask you. They're like, "Dad comes home from work," and then you're supposed to be present. But I work with them all the time, and I'm working all the time. And I don't know how to deal with that guilt of like, I could take her to breakfast. I take her to breakfast like once every 2 weeks, and it's awesome. She dresses up, and then we go get like crepes or something like Danishes or something funny.
Cute.
And we could come home, and then she's like, can we play now? And I'm like, I gotta dive back into it.
Yeah.
How do you balance that? Because I really struggle. I feel a lot of guilt and I'm a dad. It sounded like I'm supposed to be the breadwinner. That's my role in our relationship. But I still feel like, man, how do I meet them where they're at, and how do I enjoy this season? Because they're only going to be 5 and 3. They're only going to be 3 months old one time.
One thing that I do in a practical sense is just hold them close. When I'm with them, I want that quality time to feel so quality that I just like put them on my lap. Even like eating dinner and stuff, or on the couch, like come under my blanket, like let's just snuggle. So I try to have that close physical contact. I just feel like that's important, and they just feel like so loved, I think.
Yeah.
And then realizing that like you're an example. Like don't you want your daughter and like your son to think that when I'm older, I can be successful and have this like great lifestyle and have a family. I don't have to choose. And you're showing them they don't have to choose. So it's not like something that will help them now, but I think they would appreciate it later. And so it's something that's serving them their future, you know?
That leads me to the question of like, what do you want them to remember about right now?
Oh man. I want them to remember that, number one, like marriages are strong. Like that is such a commitment. And, you know, we sold houses, we bought houses, we moved, we've made huge decisions that were really hard to make this year. And they overheard a lot of those conversations. Like, what do we do? I want to do this. I want to do this. Pros and cons. Like they overheard our decision making for better or worse this year. And it was hard. But like who you choose as your life partner is so important. And that's a lifelong commitment. And so I want them to remember that from this season, that like you can get through hard things on your own. You can get through big, hard decisions as a couple when you get to that point. And then that life is short, and like don't put things off. So we are moving so fast all the time. We're like, yeah, let's buy an apartment building in the next 3 weeks to get this bonus depreciation. We can make it happen this year. Like a lot of people would say, maybe next year we'll do that. Or maybe the next year we'll do this. And why not now? So we're moving fast. Their life is witnessing that. And I want them to feel comfortable in fast-paced chaos because, you know, it's not so scary to them. It's just kind of like more normal. Yeah.
Because I think every single person I've talked to that's an entrepreneur, first off, they're looking at the public school situation and they're like, I hate this.
Yeah.
I can't do that. Do your kids go to public school?
No.
No. Do you do homeschool or do you private?
Private.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of people look at these options and they're saying, I see what's coming out, or I see what my kid is taking in and I can't stand that. And just like you're saying, like I'm not going to say never. I'm going to take each kid as it comes. But like the reason we're homeschooling is because like if anybody's going to mess up my kids, it's going to be us, right? Like I'm not going to let someone else do that for us.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I want them to see, like you're saying, what's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool would it be to have all those glass ceilings be broken of like, I watch people do this. Because when you see someone do it, it's like, you can do it.
Yes.
There's this whole like, doing it yourself can feel scary. And especially when you're going against the tide of it, that can feel really terrifying. But like, how much cooler would it be just to be like, oh, this has been my education.
Right.
I want to ask about this because I think this ties directly into a big problem I'm seeing. So it costs $13,128 right now to raise a kid per child. That is a 29% increase in the last couple of years. Do you think that every mom should be working?
I'm about to get a bunch of unfollows.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So I think it seriously depends on the person.
Yeah.
It really does. And the situation and the kids and what the kids' needs are. Like, for example, if I was like, if my mom had like passed away or something and I was my sister's guardian, she needs so much care that, gosh, I could not be doing what I'm doing and full-time caregiving for her.
Yeah.
So I think it totally depends on the situation. Do I think it's good for your kids to see you build something? 100%.
Yeah.
Even if that's not making money, even if that's creating the, a new sports team, or, organizing the PTA, or being the class mom and organizing some school thing. Like, I think it's really important to see your kids building something that's not just for them. So working on something, yes, maybe it's not a job, but maybe it's building something. So yeah, if you're not building something, like, gosh, I don't know. I think the kids really should be witnessing that.
60% of moms are interested in starting a business right now. And last year, 49% of new businesses were launched by moms. As we experience this recession, and as we experience a lot of moms feeling like, I need to bring money in, do you think that people should look to going back to corporate, or should they look at starting something themselves?
Work for yourself. Yeah, work for yourself. If you can be an exceptional employee, you can be an exceptional entrepreneur. Meaning, if you can put more effort into into something than the average person, like, you will do well. If you can over deliver, you will do well. If you can be on time, you will do well. I think just looking at the potential for each and the security in each, I would 1,000,000% work for yourself. Yeah.
Why?
Because you are in control of the potential. Everything is a choice. Winning is a choice. Making a certain amount of money is a choice. It's harder, but the upside is so much bigger.
What would you say to women that are currently in corporate that are actually successful?
What I would actually ask them, what makes you feel like you're successful? Is it your LinkedIn profile? Is it your paycheck? Is it your resume? Like, what is making you feel successful? And is that really what makes success? Because your LinkedIn profile, your job history, the company you worked for, at the end of the day, like, is that going to give you your ultimate goal of, for most people, time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom?
Yeah.
And if you're not getting those things, are you really successful? Or is it just on paper, people admire what you've done? And I would rethink what success means if you are tying your identity to working for someone else and being successful in that. Because what real success probably is for you, and what that feeling of, I've made it, I'm so proud of myself, it's probably not just another promotion or, 5% raise. It's probably doing something that gives you those time, location, financial freedom factors.
Do you feel successful?
Yeah. Yeah.
When did that hit?
Let's see. Probably, this is crazy, but probably back in high school. Yeah. Back in high school. Yeah. I would skip class and leave school early to go to the library to work on my college applications. And my mom approved it. And I was like really determined to get outside of Minnesota, to go to California. I wanted to get into Stanford. And actually, it's so funny, I got waitlisted at Stanford. That was like my dream since I was 13. I got waitlisted. I framed that waitlist letter. It's under my bed in my mom's house. But I felt like, wow, like, I got noticed at least, and I got into great schools, good scholarships for academics. And I felt like, wow, Dylan, like, you got through 13 to 18 of like hell for most people. And you came out with opportunity now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when I first probably felt successful.
I think a lot of women are waking up right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of women that have busted their ass in the last 10 years. And right now, women are 1.6 more likely to get laid off from corporate jobs. Insane. I guess, what's like a starting point? What should they be considering? Because I agree with you. I think there's so many different angles and opportunities. There's Etsy, but like there's so much to make money in. And I think no one is actually communicating permission.
Yeah.
Like, you can do this. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Why do you think women still need permission to be who they know they can be?
I think I have a hard time relating to that. But I think a lot of it, from what I've seen, because I work with Etsy sellers, who usually, a lot of times it's women starting a business and the husband might not be believing in them. And I feel like if you are wanting to do something, but you don't have another person believing in you, it's not going to go as well. It might not be long-term. You might quit early.
Do you think a lot of women are being a lot of women are being stopped by bad husbands.
These bad husbands.
Yeah. That's some hook language. That's some hook language.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but seriously, like I would say that's a bad partnership.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the thing. They marry you when you have this corporate job and they think, okay, we're stable, we're secure, we're going to have this normal family. I'm not expecting you to go, off the plan and disrupt our stability or what we built. And so they might see it as like a betrayal of the plan. Like that wasn't our plan for you to quit your job and, risk our life savings. So I think that's if you don't communicate dreams early enough, I think that can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and so you're saying you didn't experience that because of everything you've experienced in high school. You're like, it's not an option to not just go. I have to figure this out and just go. Yeah.
Yeah. And not, I think for women, not relying on someone else or their affirmation or support to do something, just build it, right? Put your head down and build it. And then you might get the support after, but not waiting till you get the support to start is so important.
How many people have you coached?
I thought it was 4,700. It's actually about 5,540.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you give me like one story that you feel like, okay, this was worth it. This made me feel fulfilled in why I'm doing this.
One of my students, she has 2 kids. She was a teacher and her husband struggled with addiction and really sweet, like Christian family. And it got to the point where like he got let go from his job and now it's all on her. And she's, supporting the whole family, rehab, treatment, like all this stuff on it was all on her shoulders. And I saw the weight of that. And I kind of related to her, with my history. And I realized like I'm helping this person build something so that she will never have to worry about anything coming her way. Like she's going to be resilient. This business is going to make her feel secure and resilient, and it's going to protect her family. So that moment of building up like another woman who had to step up and lead the house for a time when there was turbulence, that's so worth it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How many of those do you feel like you have?
Oh my God. The thing is, in this space, in the high ticket coaching space or whatever you want to call it, we talk to you before you join. So I know everyone's story and we have that documented. So everyone has a story. Their husband died. They got laid off. They lost their home. We've had homeless people who we've worked with who've lived out of their vehicles, like crazy stories. So everyone has something.
First off, it needs to be said, I've never met someone that works as hard as you do. But what I pray for is peace. And I want you to find peace throughout the midst of it, because sometimes, especially with the level of people you're helping, the way that you're helping them, there's so much on your shoulders. You're carrying your family, you're carrying your extended family, and in some shape or form, you're carrying the families of the women that are joining them and the men that are joining, right? That's pressure that anyone would buckle under. And I think in a lot of ways, I don't want to tie to this, but like I can see how you'd perceive this as a ministry. And if you perceive it as like a ministry where like, I know I can help people. I know I want to help people for good reasons. And I know what I do like changes lives, especially if they follow the plan, especially if they do the things. What would you say to someone that listens to you, listens to your story, and they resonate and they're saying like, man, I feel like I got it, but I'm really, really scared. It's scary to start. It's scary to give myself permission that I can be a mom and do this, and be a good mom and do this. Yeah, what would you say to a woman that feels paralyzed right now, that's looking at the situations and saying, I don't know if I can do this?
I would say you have to lock arms with another woman who has done what you're trying to do, whether that's virtually or in reality. So if you don't know someone who has done what you want to do, find someone, even if you follow them and they don't even know it. Like they could be your mentor and they don't even realize it. But look around and find the example of someone who's gotten through what you are going through and have still built the thing despite that. Find someone who is living proof every day. Watch how they live their life. And I think that's so important, to watch how they live their day-to-day, which is one reason I love showing up in stories, because I love giving people the real of like, we don't have a kitchen right now. We're washing our dishes. My husband is washing our dishes in a Home Depot bucket with a garden hose for 2 months because we're resilient. Heck, And so I like to show the realness because it's not, people give the highlights and they make it seem so like easy, and they don't show the hard. And so find someone who's where you want to be, doing what you want to do, who will really show you the inside scoop of the day to day.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thanks.